Together we are but first coffee. Susie's just our host, but what matters most is we are a team. Together we are all safe here, and so are you. Among friends and mods we are safe. We talk about trauma, break down drama of life, death, happy or sad, even mad. We discuss it all here. Together we will thrive, not just survive. We will dry each other's tears, celebrate big or small wins, and chase away the fears. Together we fight cults or fight addictions. If not with experience, with love, and we don't judge. Please understand, this is a safe place to land. Please understand, you're not alone. This is a safe place to land. Together we thrive, not just survive. We will dry each other's tears, celebrate big or small wins, and chase away the fears. Because we are but first coffee, and Susie welcomes us all here. Together we are but first coffee, and Susie.
Hey, everybody. It's good to be back. I hope you're all staying cool. Or is she still needing a sweater because she was cold yesterday when everybody else was hot? So it is hot here today. I think it was in the mid 90s and very humid as usual. So I did spend a little bit of time at the pool with Veta. I was telling Mischief that she makes me feel like a terrible human if I don't take her out to the pool on the days that grandpa's not here to do it. So whenever Mark's at work, I guess I'm gonna have to take her out some. So anyway, I'm glad to see you guys. I'm gonna check in with the chat for just a minute. I do want to say I have clicked the button that shows the chat on the screen. So on the replay, it's small, I know, but that's the only way I seem to be able to figure out how to do it. And that's what I see other people doing right now too. So that does at least show you on the replay what we're talking about in the live show, so that helps too, I think, a little bit. Anyway, so I'm gonna check in with the chat. Hey, David, I don't know if you've got back yet or not. He's been popping in before the show, putting his little thumbs up and, making his presence known, and then he probably wanders off and gets something to drink before he comes back, so or maybe something to eat, depending on where he's at. It might be dinner time, right? Jersey Jan, so good to see you. Thank you for being a wrench. She's one of my new mods. So happy to have her. And there's Mare, also, there's a fly in here. Also one of my amazing mods. Glad to have her. Mischief is here. She's also in the back. She'll be starring comments and questions. So if you all can put, CCs or QQs or something just to make it easier for her to find those. So anyway, Mare says, I have a sudden desire to watch The Princess Bride. I haven't watched that in probably 10 years. I maybe longer than that. Wow. I like it. I don't know why not. Mischief too. Yeah. Gosh, you guys. Bravesie's here. She's also one of my new mods. So everybody say hi to my new mods, y'all. There's David. He's back. Hey, Amy, it still doesn't have a wrench. Amy, what are we going to do? I don't know. I went in last night and did it with that name. So I don't know what is going on, but Autism and Everything After is Amy Lazan. She's John's wife. She is a mod, but for some reason her wrench is not showing up. So I'm going to work on that again tonight as soon as we're done here and see if I can figure out what's going on. I just don't understand. I've never had a problem with it not showing up. So, weird. Anyway, for some reason okay, on this one, Mischief, you're gonna think I'm crazy. So, it says Mischief managed, and then it says David with the little exclamation mark. For some reason, I looked down there, and it looked like it said David Miscavige. She's like, "No." I mean, I completely screwed that one up, but I if you saw me kind of falter for just a second, anybody that was watching, that's what it was I looked down there and I saw the David, but whenever I looked, I could have sworn it said Miscavige, so yeah, crazy. And no, I'm not taking any pain medicine, allergy medicine, anything right now. So, hey, Heat, good to see you. Always glad to see you. Yeah, that's so weird. I do not know what the deal is with her wrench. Ugh. So, yeah, we've got several that are just here that are lurking too. So, those are always welcome. You're welcome to lurk or not. Wow. It was chilly here, and is it Kamloops today? We got hit hard with the rain last night. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm tired of the rain. We have had so much rain and stormy weather. I am sick of it. Heat is chicken with the chat. Is that like chicken or, chicken? Only you're chicken? Yeah, I do too. I like the on-screen chat too. It's good for if I yeah, put it on full screen. Yeah. Yeah. I imagine the ones we have several people. I was looking at the stats on that the other day, and I have a bunch of people that watch it on TV. So now I'm like really nervous because I need to redo my hair. It's the roots are growing in, and the more I'm out in the sun, my freckles are gonna look the size of dimes. And so yeah, it's a mess. Yeah. But I bet the what I was gonna say was I bet that the, on-screen chat works good then too on a when you're watching on a TV. David's living on Tulsa time. Me too. Yep. Amy still doesn't have a wrench. I don't know what it is, John. I went on there last night and I went and got the actual deal on her channel and put it over there, and it still isn't working. Um, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So, I'll work on it tonight, and what I might do is have her pop in on the chat for the one that's tomorrow and let me see if there's a wrench on it whenever I work on it, so oh, wow. Oh, you just paused Star Wars for me? That's kind of a big deal? Oh my gosh, now I'm gonna be honored, but, like, nervous. Yeah. So, I was just talking about you too, though, John Lazon, and, Mischief is pouting because you don't email her, so I told her that if she gave if you gave her your or if she gave you her email address, you'd probably email her too. Because I was talking about how you send me the sweetest things, cute pictures of the family and little inspiring things that you tell me and stuff, so yeah. Aw. Oh, wow. John was welding and it was over 40 degrees Celsius. Wow. Healing through song. Hey, John. I hope you're staying cool. It makes me nervous when you're out doing good deeds, and I'm afraid that you're gonna get overheated too. Gotta take care of you or you can't take care of other people. Yeah. Yeah, you needed some rain? Oh, wow. Yeah, fire season is rough. Yes. Yeah. Fruit Loops. Fruit Loops. Checking with the chickens. Oh, Lisa Pete says, "I watch on TV, so I can't comment, semi-lurker." Oh, yeah. I know some people will actually watch on their TV, but they'll have it pulled up on their phone too so they can comment. I hope your TV isn't like my daughter and them's TV is like I'm not even kidding, like 90 inches wide or something, and whenever I go over there, if they've got me on the TV, I'm gonna be like, "No." Uh, oh, wow. Expecting 1,000,000 people in downtown Detroit tonight for the fireworks. No, thanks. I'll be watching on TV this year. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. No, that kind of people, mm-mm. I don't do good in crowds. I just don't. Oh, wow. Sequoia State Park Lake was, what does it say? 27 feet above level. Oh my goodness. Everything around here looks like it's flooding. Um, I mean, it is crazy. Mark, I haven't seen it, but he's been telling me, he says, "I'm gonna take pictures and show you," because he was telling me about Cottonwood Creek and over by the dam and just everything. He's been telling me how everything's so high, and in Manford that the park's underwater and a bunch of stuff's underwater. I'm just like, "Oh my." So, hey, Evie, good to see you. Good to see you. I know, right? He did, he just paid me the highest nerd compliment ever. Oh, I trust me, I know. I'm not taking that lightly at all. Not at all. Now I'm like, hope this is a good one. Yeah, it's a good idea to watch the video on TV and using the phone for the chat. Yeah, that's what some people do, he some people do that, so oh, Brazy, that's what you do? I know you had said something about that you watched on the TV or something sometime, so oh, goodness, yeah, Fort Gibson? Yeah. Wow. Well, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and get started and see how we get done with this. I don't know what I just did. Me and my okay, right. Okay, I got it. Sorry. So, y'all, welcome back, right? At to But First Coffee. And I'm always so glad to see everybody here. I truly am, and it just makes me happy when you're all here. So today we are on week 3 of 5 of our dangerous cults that you've probably never even heard of. I said 4 out of 5 last night, but I had miscounted because I forgot that I had to cancel last week's because um I think that was the day I had the migraine. I think I had the migraine on Monday and Tuesday. So anyway, it's always something it feels like, right? But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the migraine because it was later in the week I think that we lost our power. So, anyway, but yeah, today we are on 3 of 5. I'm actually gonna do 6, but the 6th one a lot of you've probably heard of, so I'm kinda not, you know, completely including it in that, but I do wanna to do some stuff on it. So, anyway, so today, y'all, we're gonna dive into something that's a little wild and it's a little mysterious, okay? But, of course, it's a whole lot culty. So it's a group out of China, and it's called the Eastern Lightning, or as they like to call themselves, the Church of the Almighty God. So, I'm kind of a smartass about things, and so I am gonna go ahead and pop this up on the screen because I immediately was like, if they wanna be called Church of the Almighty God, why didn't they just call themselves that, instead of Eastern Lighting, you know? So, and I'm just gonna kind of skip over this a little bit. I don't know if we need to necessarily read it all, but what it says is that the name Eastern Lighting came from the group's own early propaganda and recruitment messaging. It's based on a Bible verse, which is Matthew 24:27. For as the lightning comes from the east and flashes to the west, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. So that's where they got that from, okay? So anyway, they claim that this Bible verse was a prophecy about the female Christ appearing in China. Now, I don't I see it says the son of man. I don't see it says the daughter, but anyway, they decided that it was talking about a female Christ. And so, and China being the in the east. So, early converts began calling it Eastern Lightning, and the name stuck in public discourse. But anyway, they wanted to be called, and they actually switched to the Church of the Almighty God, but people just still, everything was so done up in this Eastern lighting that they just kind of left that. They said that it sounds more legitimate and less fringe, and I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. And so if y'all want to screenshot that and read all of it or whatever, um but yeah, the biggest problem where it says down here at the bottom was when they really tried to change their name, that journalists, governments, and even former members just kept on calling it Eastern Lightning, so it just wasn't sticking. So they just kind of gave up, I guess, and they just call it that kind of amongst themselves. So anyway, so there's that. I did, in case any of the rest of you are nosy like me, because as soon as I read the part where it said, as they like to be called, then I'm like, well, then name yourself that. So, and I don't know. What gets me is, as you're gonna see, they weren't very old. I think they could have changed it if they wanted to, but who am I? So anyway, the group actually believes that Jesus is back already. And now he's a Chinese woman. So in hiding, no less. Okay. So he's how would you work that? Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's what it says, that Jesus has come back and he is now a Chinese woman in hiding. So I worded it just like they worded it because I didn't want to, mess that up because I would. So anyway, but y'all, that's just the small entrance to this rabbit hole on this cult because they are something else. So what is Eastern Lightning? And the best way to do that is just to start with the basics. So we're just going to go over some of the basics. I've got one that I'm going to put up here, but I'm also going to kind of just read from what I've got my notes. So, but this is the woman that they think is now Jesus, female Jesus. So, this founder, Zhao Wisehan, um, he's a man, and this is his. Some people said it's his lover, and some people said it's his wife. So I don't know. So anyway, he started it in the 1990s, and by the year 2000, he fled China and was actually granted asylum in the United States, allegedly in New York. So yeah, of course, let's just let the crazies in, right? Whatever. So now this is her, Yang. I cannot pronounce that last name, but anyway, she's believed to be the female incarnation of Christ. Reportedly suffers from mental illness, and she lived with this guy in exile. So after 2000, the group began expanding, and they ended up in US, Canada, South Korea, Europe, Australia, and they were claiming religious persecution. Thousands of members have sought asylum abroad, launched sleek YouTube channels, musical productions, and websites in multiple languages. So there's that. So anyway, so yeah, the Eastern Lighting Cult is a doomsday cult. It was founded in the 1990s, the early 1990s. And again, they claim that Jesus Christ has returned in the body of a Chinese woman named Yang. And yeah, I'm not kidding. Like they really do. I was surprised that he didn't just say that he was Jesus, but he didn't. He said she was. And so they know her as the Almighty God. So, and if you're wondering how she came to be the divine vessel of the Lord, well, the group's answer when asked that is because we say so. Quote, because we say so. So, yeah, sounds like, interesting, right? So, I did wanna pop this one up real quick too, because we're gonna go into a little bit about that because they would not be a cult if they did not have some culty practices, right? So, of course, there's the brainwashing techniques, and, this is what defectors and critics alike have said. They have isolation. Converts are often encouraged to cut off from family ties. Guilt and fear used to keep members obedient. Fake miracles, claims of healing, and divine prophecy used to recruit and retain. And infiltration, known to pose as seekers to enter other churches. Yeah, they'll go into other churches. I'm going to talk about that a little bit, and they will, like, act like that they're there, seeking information, but then what they'll really do is they'll try to get other people that are just trying to learn about it and gather them up and take them back to the cult. So they're pretty sneaky. They're some sneaky little people. So the Chinese government stance, it was declared a dangerous cult in 1995. So almost immediately after they started, just literally less than 5 years after they started, they were already declared a cult, subject to crackdowns, surveillance, imprisonment, and execution. Chinese propaganda regularly blames the group for anti government unrest. The government's label of a cult can include harmless house churches, so all claims should be assessed critically. Yeah. So, media and outreach. The Church of Almighty God runs YouTube, Facebook, websites, and apps full of high budget videos, dramatic personal testimonies of persecution, doomsday warnings. These productions often mimic Christian films or music videos to draw in viewers. Yeah, crazy. I mean, it's big time. So, anyway, yeah, so this her boyfriend, I don't think they were married. I don't think that they were ever married. So her anyway, this man decided that his girlfriend was the Almighty God, and but of course there was a man involved in it. I had to have a little chuckle over that, that he helped her rise to this divine position, and I was just kind of laughing about it because I said maybe he was her manager, right? Maybe he was her manager. So, what do they believe, or AKA the greatest hits of spiritual fan fiction? Let's break it down in plain English because sometimes they just when you start reading about what these places believe, it's gets a little crazy. So, number one, Jesus is great, but the Bible is old news. They believe that there is another book completely after the net, or not so it's another testament. There's the Old Testament, the New Testament, and then there's now this New Testament, which guess who wrote it supposedly? The Almighty God. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, but they say that Jesus is great, but the Bible is old news. So they call it God's new word is the New Testament, and it is being spoken right now by this Chinese woman. So yeah. Hey Mary, good to see you. And they believe that all the other churches are wrong, of course, and they're all corrupt. They believe that the world is under Satan's control. They believe that only their group is truly saved and everyone else is headed for hellfire or a state-ran re-education camp. And I'm not being funny. That's they believe that. It's either hell or a re-education camp. And they said that's kinda just depending on who you ask. So anyway, they have a book called The Word Appears in the Flesh. That's their New Testament. And it's not to be confused with your cousin's bodice ripping romance novel, but the drama level is about the same. So yeah, I can see where, the word appears in the flesh. Does sound kind of like a romance novel, doesn't it? But yeah, and this woman has wrote this, and they think that it is the new Bible, that everything else is outdated. So, anyway, so y'all know that it wouldn't be Susie checking on a cult without having a little cult checklist. So we are gonna look at this and see, how many of these checks that they check, okay? So, charismatic leaders, check. They have Zhao and Yang, and they are worshipped as divine mouthpieces of the Lord because Yang would be, the same as Jesus. So, I guess now the daughter of God. So, number 2, apocalyptic teachings, double check. They are big on those. The world is always ending, always. And it's your fault because you don't believe good enough. That's the truth. That's what they say. So they have an us versus them mentality. Yep. Abso-freaking-lutely. They absolutely believe that it is them against the world. And they believe that the government, the churches, and Aunt Betty's knitting group are all demonic. Seriously. Everybody everybody is demonic to them. When you start studying about it, it's just yeah, everybody's just demonic. It's crazy. Isolation from family? You betcha. Yep. Some ex-members say that they were cut off from loved ones absolutely completely. They couldn't talk to any of their family that weren't members, any of their friends that weren't members, nothing. Yeah, gaslighting, check. Absolutely. Mind control tactics, check, check, and one more for good measure. They are big on mind control, and which would go into the whole gaslighting thing too. Number 6, sexual abuse. Do you even have to ask? I mean, seriously. Now, there is one, I was supposed to have done it last week, and I'm gonna do it next week instead, and I think they actually have not had any allegations of sexual abuse. But so far, that's the only one I've seen. But child abuse, duh. Yeah, child abuse is on the list, y'all. So, I wanna show a couple more things. Again, I'm gonna kinda go through these fast. I like to have these little cards because if anybody wants any of the information, all you gotta do is ask and I can send it to you, or I can put it in um, my community post type deal, and, if there's something that you wanna look at. So, anyway, see, this is some quotes. It says, "If you reject the female Christ, you will suffer eternal damnation when judgment comes." And that is in "The Word appears in the flesh." They isolate you from your family and make you believe that you are saving the world. Sound familiar? Saving the world, clearing the world. You can't question anything, and that's an anonymous former member interviewed by The Guardian. And, what is it? The Church of the what is that called? It just went out of my mind. Anyway, the Church of the God, whatever, is both a religious group and a political threat. Chinese government. White paper. Yeah, so that's who said those. And let's see here. I've got I went and I got all my little slides that I wanted to put up and I numbered them. And then I thought, you have no idea where they go in this little chat that you're going to do. So I had to actually go through here and like wrote down, show this one, show this one, show this one. And they're all out of order. Like that's number 3, then number 2, then number 4. Number 5 was up at the very beginning. It's like crazy. So yeah, we're going to show this one. This is some child abuse claims because, while less common, there are indirect allegations of child neglect and abuse, especially in these contexts. Children abandoned for ministry. Parents were told that their children were idols or spiritual distractions, and some allegedly left them with relatives or orphanages to travel for the church. It says my sister left her 3-year-old with our grandma. She said God told her the child was a barrier to salvation. Yin Yi. former member's sibling, quoted in Asia News. I'm sorry. I even if God told me that my child was a barrier to my salvation, I would probably just be like, "Okay, whatever. So be it." But, this really got to me whenever I had this all kind of done out, and then today I was watching, I think it was today. I don't remember. It was today or yesterday. I was watching part of Marilyn's show, and she said that the cult that she was in told her that her children were idols, that she idolized her children and that she had to punish them and stuff, and so that they were like a spiritual distraction to her too, that she was spending more time loving them than she was loving God. And I mean, it didn't sit well with Marilyn, but I'm just saying, isn't it so strange that it seems like no matter what cult we're looking at, we can cross reference it to another that does the same thing. And it just drives me insane. I'm going to find this book that tells them how to do it. Cult leader 101 or cult for dummies or something. I don't know. But at this point I think I could write one. Maybe I should. No, I don't want any more cults. But anyway, so anyway, number 2, children forced into religious theater and recruitment. Ex-members have testified that teenagers and children were used in online videos, street outreach, and even recruited into minor leadership roles under intense pressure and surveillance. Several of their musical productions feature children in uniform singing Judgment Day hymns in eerie unison. Oh, goodness. Number 3, Chinese government allegations of child indoctrination. The CCP has accused CAG of running secret Sunday schools where children were taught to fear outsiders and reject their own families. While the government has incentive to exaggerate, ex-members have confirmed that indoctrination starts early and is highly controlling. So, yeah. China is well known for calling everybody a cult and everybody's dangerous and, very much so. But, you know, it's another one of those even a broken clock is right twice a day kind of thing, I think, because it's like, ugh, goodness. So, and then this one is sexual misconduct allegations, spiritual coercion leading to sexual exploitation. Ex-members in Chinese media report that female followers were pressured into believing they need to submit to the flesh of Almighty God. An example, the sexually of be sexually available to leadership or divinely chosen men. So, yeah, fun, huh? And that also gives the source. Um, Zhao Weizen's alleged sexual authority. The group's male founder and leader, now in the US, has been accused in Chinese court filings of using his spiritual authority to manipulate women into sexual relationships. I mean, good lord, the man's already, living with his girlfriend is Jesus. You'd think that that would be enough, right? I mean, even Jesus can't keep this man's hands off of other women. He is a and I mean, poor Jesus, they say that she's mentally ill, and I wonder, like, with what? I could never find, like, what is she supposedly mentally ill with because, you know, is he just manipulating her too, is what got me because I really almost felt sorry for her in some weird way because I was like, if she's mentally ill, we don't know what that means, right? And she stays in seclusion. So is he manipulating her? I mean, he's the one that decided she was Jesus. It wasn't like she met him and said, "Oh, by the way, dude, I'm Jesus." It was him. So, anyway, controlling access to the female Christ, yeah, as a form of inner circle reward. Yeah, I can imagine that. Oh, um I'll let you see Jesus if you I'm not even going to say what, but if you do this, this, and this, right? And anyway, women forced to leave families. Multiple reports claim that women, including mothers, were told to abandon their husbands, their children, and even newborns to serve God without distraction. Some of these women were moved into shared homes or isolated communes, which or where emotional and financial dependency on male leaders allegedly enabled exploitation. Isn't that awful? And there was also child abuse claims, which we're going to look at next, I think, or somewhere in there. Or we already did. I went backwards on those. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you thought all of that was, typical cult stuff, right? I mean, we're getting some sexual abuse, we're abusing children, we're separating families, we've got, you know, female Jesus, weird, female Jesus's boyfriend. I mean, it's weird. And it's real mysterious because she's always in hiding. Like all of the like preaching and everything seems to be done by him. Like she supposedly wrote this book, but he does all of the talking points and then he just lets people see her sometimes if they, are good enough. But anyway, so then we go into, and I had actually heard of this. I had not actually heard, I knew that it was supposedly a cult that did this, but I don't guess I knew what cult or whatever. I didn't put it together. But anyway, there was the McDonald's murder. And that is when it all went public. So when they had the McDonald's murder, everything went public. It had been kind of a secret before, real mysterious and, veiled in secrecy. But so yeah, this has got a little bit of a trigger warning, y'all. So in 2014, a group who claimed to be members of this church, right, literally beat a woman to death in a McDonald's in China. Why? Because she wouldn't give them her phone number. And so they say that she had a demon. I don't know what that had to do with needing her phone number, but I don't know if they were going to arrange some sort of, you know, something later on. Yeah, yeah, like he or someone else is really calling the shot. I agree, Mary, I agree. So anyway, so yeah, here again with the demons, okay? And it was caught on security camera and they said that it was absolutely horrific. So, can you imagine? I mean, you're just in McDonald's, right? And this group of people, and it didn't say how many, but this group of people literally beat her to death. It just, I don't know. This one, ugh. And of course, y'all, the Church of the Almighty God, there's the almighty word that I couldn't come up with earlier. I was getting mighty. I just couldn't get almighty. But anyway, so of course they claimed, oh, it wasn't our members. That those people are lying. They're just saying that they're part of our members. And but the Chinese government, they didn't buy it. They totally believe that they were members. And honestly, nobody else seemed to believe it either. Their the witnesses and everything said, no, that's who that is. I mean, it was a big, big deal. So after that, the Chinese Communist Party went full tilt, y'all. They did raids, they had arrests, they sent people to prison. It was big time. They did not mess around. There wasn't any of this half-ass doing it. They were serious. So anyway, in their eyes, the group wasn't just a cult, but it was a threat to national stability, it said. Didn't even say security, it said national stability. Anyway, so then when all this happened, so what happens, right? Well, this, you know, Jesus's boyfriend, and I guess Jesus ran off from Henan to Hollywood. So they ran to the States, and that's when it started going global. So they fled China, and the group kind of started showing up everywhere again in the US, Canada, Europe, South Korea. I can't remember anymore, but all over. And they started making these YouTube videos. And they said that if you find these YouTube videos, that they really do look like a Hallmark movie or a Lifetime movie, or that what's that new one? The one that's more religious than Hallmark, like Up or something. I don't know. But anyway, they said that it looks like that they have a big budget, and I could not find where they were getting their money other than the fact that they get young, um, the whole yuppie thing, upwardly mobile, people, and with good jobs and everything, and that's what they get, is they get them in there, and they give all their money, and they'll sign over their houses and all that. But, yeah, they don't mess around. You're right. They don't mess around in China. So, the Chinese Communist Party, yeah. So, anyway, it was it was crazy. They said that well, I'm even calling them movies now, that they did look more like movies, but they looked like, they had a high production budget, they had musical numbers, dramatic testimonials. They said everything short of a slow motion baptism. I mean, that's what they said in there. I saw several quotes of that. They were just like, "We were expecting somebody, like a slow motion where they'd slowly dip them into the water and back up." So, anyway, so of course they, claimed that they were being persecuted, and to be honest, a lot of the members have been jailed, even members that didn't, participate in the McDonald's murder have been jailed. But at the same time, it is a cult, and I don't know. It's hard to have a lot of sympathy. Anyway, but they're out here filming these end time musicals in Los Angeles, and just crazy. So then let's look at this one. It's number 6. So we're going to look at the state propaganda versus real survivor stories. Some abuse claims come directly from the Chinese Communist Party. It's my bulldog, sorry. Which often uses sensational allegations to justify mass arrests and underground churches. However, when independent ex-members and family members abroad echo the same stories, it gains credibility. So, yeah, that's kind of the deal. It's like we know that the Chinese Communist Party can be very, just quick to do this. But at the same time, do we not just I mean, we try to believe the ex-Scientologists, right? It would be the same kinda deal. So if their ex-members are saying the same thing, it does lend credibility. Confirmed sources for abuse claims, AsiaNews.it, cult encouraged sex with leaders to prove faith. That was in 2015. Radio Free Asia, did a women say they were pressured to serve God with their bodies, 2017. This is not long ago, y'all. China anti or I missed one, sorry. The Epoch Times interview with former follower Liang Zai in 2014. China Anti-Cult Association, multiple reports. State bias is noted. Bitter Winter, articles analyzing sexual and emotional control structures within the group, and U.S. State Department religious freedom reports references. Hold on. It covers it up on mine. I don't know if it does on yours. References to gender-based coercion in asylum cases. Huh. So that don't sound very good for the US either, does it? Okay. So infiltration and accusations, that's where it gets even messier. So all in all, the group has been accused of And there's quite a list, okay? Kidnapping preachers and church members to force conversion. I don't know how you, like, force somebody. I don't know. I guess if I don't know. Posing as seekers in Bible studies just to flip the script and convert them over to the other. Mischief. They would threaten members who try to leave, being straight up hostile to families who question them, and yeah, the whole deal with the sex and child abuse allegations too. So, it's like the Jehovah Witnesses meets Scientology, but with more fear-based theatrics and subtitles, y'all. So, I wanna look at this one. I've just got these 2 slides left, and I thought these were really cool. It's survivor testimonials. So it said, "They said if I left, my family would suffer God's wrath." It's a former member interviewed by Asian News. "They told me my mother would get cancer if I turned my back on Almighty God, that I would be struck down in the street. I believed them for 2 years. I lived in fear." Can you imagine? "I wasn't allowed to call my sister. They said family ties are from Satan." Another former member on Radio Free Asia. "We were told to cut off everyone. I cried every night, but they said that that was just God purifying me. I thought I was joining a prayer group. They kidnapped me for 3 days." He actually gave his name. Protestant pastor. Wow. "They invited me for a study. When I tried to leave, they blocked the door. They surrounded me. They screamed at me, and one slapped me in the face and called it spiritual correction. I escaped through the bathroom window." So, after 3 days, this preacher who was kidnapped had to escape through the bathroom window. "They brainwashed my mother. She sold her house and gave them everything." Chin Wei, son of a long-time member, interviewed by Bitter Winner. "They convinced her the end was near. She drained her retirement fund and moved to a commune. I haven't seen her in years." That's something, and she's older because everything I saw said that they are much more, obviously, they're not just gonna take the older ones, but that they are much more into the older ones. Just trying to make sure I didn't. Yeah. Okay, now let me look at this one over here. I can't remember what this one is actually. Oh, that's the one I already read. I read that about why they switched to Eastern lighting. Sorry. So it says, "But is it all bad?" So, to be fair, China labels all unsanctioned churches evil cults, including some peaceful underground Christian groups. So, yeah, some of the persecution is real. Literally, people have been arrested for just owning some of this group's literature. But at the same time, leadership is secretive. They believe that they are God's only voice, and they behave like a cult, like they behave like a cult. Remember the checklist. So I think it's another one of those situations where we've talked about before that two things can be true at once. But this one, I just could not get over how many people actually um, spoke out, and I mean, I only used a few of the quotes from ex-members or families, family members that were affected by it. I only used a few. There were a lot. And I mean, I could have done a whole hour of just reading a lot of their quotes, and it just blew my mind. And then the whole McDonald's murder completely blew my mind too, because I remembered it, but I was like, I remember kind of hearing about it and that it was like a cult, but I didn't. really, I guess, think about it that much at the time. So I don't know. I was probably busy. That was probably during one of my cancer treatments I don't know. It's weird, right? So anyway, so what do y'all think? Had any of you heard about that one before? Had you heard about the McDonald's murders? Had you heard any of that? Mischief is saying no. Isn't it weird though, Mischief? Isn't that awful? I cannot imagine I'm in McDonald's, right? And I get beaten to death. Oh my God. Ugh. Oh, I was gonna go up here. I'm gonna check the starred comments. I forgot you're back there just starring your little heart away. Eat my shorts. Love you too. That's a chicken, isn't it? Or is it a heart? It's a heart. I was thinking about you talking about chickens or something. Yeah, hiding from what? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're supposedly hiding from or what she's supposedly hiding from. There's no way China would allow her presence in the country. I don't know. Is it mean that I find that funny? Jesus is now a little Chinese woman. I know, right? I'm not trying to be mean, but I thought it was funny too. I don't know. For some reason, I think just like a little woman, and I kept thinking of her as like a little old woman when I was first researching it. And and I thought, "No, wait a minute. This has not been that long ago. I want to go see this little old woman, right?" And I went and looked up her pictures and she's like young. But I'm still just like I don't know whether to dislike her or not because I'm wondering to what degree she's mentally ill and to what degree she's being just as manipulated as the cult members are. Absolutely. I know. I get this is my question too. A Chinese lady Jesus. Why are you hiding? I'm if it's Jesus, I don't know. But they said that she is in hiding, like that we don't see her. Like, even now, you don't see her. He is the one that you see, the one that does all the mouthpiece, the one that talks. She wrote this book that's the New Testament, and, he basically keeps her sequestered over here to the side, and if you're good enough, he'll let you have, like, an audience with her, but it's basically you just get to see her. Like, I don't know if she's like, "Bless you, child," or, I don't know. It doesn't say. I mean, there are so much secrets that it was really hard to even get what I got. I searched for, like, seriously, hours and hours on 3 different days. It was so hard. I can't figure it out. I really can't. Yeah. Mary says, "I've never heard of this one before. So interesting and twisted." I know, right? I was the same way. And I honestly kind of feel like we still don't know a whole lot. But I'll tell you the truth, I searched and searched and searched. I Googled stuff and looked up different things that they said that you could look at all these different and I've got those that I can show you. To give you an idea, I'll show you in just a minute. Um, all these things that I looked at and I couldn't find it, so I couldn't find very much. So I even went and asked that Chat GPT what they had on it, and what they told me I already had. So, I think I found just about everything that's out there that's known. It is just so weird. Now I just, like, am, like, obsessed, like, I wanna know more. Yeah, I agree here too, Mischief. I thought the Book of Mormon was the New Testament. Well, I girl, I don't know. I don't know how many news is attached to this New Testament, but yeah. Well, all they didn't say anything about the Mormons, so I will say that. They just said that the Old Testament was old, the New Testament basically that the New Testament wiped out everything in the Old Testament, but then now this one wipes out everything in the New Testament. I mean, not the stuff that happened, but like the rules and, that kind of thing. Not the history of it, but the rules and I don't know, the newest testament. Yeah, I guess. heat, I guess. I don't know, it's crazy. Yeah. I know, right? I thought this too, Jan. A re-education camp. I looked at that because I thought, "Are they talking about some kind of like a concentration, that kind of a camp or something?" But no, it was either you were gonna go to hell or literally it was in quotes, just like you have it, a re-education camp. Yeah, so is that like the RPF? I guess. I don't know. Yeah, Mare, it's like the new testament. I know, right? I'm just like, "What in the world?" Yeah, I get this too. How can the Bible be outdated? I know. I don't even think that I mean, I understand that things, progress kind of deal. And that a lot that was done in the Old Testament is different in the New Testament, but that stuff all still happened or, we believe it did depending on your ideology, but anyway, but yeah, I'm like, I don't get it. I really just don't get it. I was really I would be reading, I'm not gonna lie to you, it'd be like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I would just be like, "Ugh," and Mark would be like, "What?" I'll be, "Oh, nothing. I'm sorry. Nothing." I'm just frustrated with this cult. He'd be like, "What Scientology done now?" And I said, "It's not even them." Yeah, so the manager yeah, had to help new little lady Jesus come into her power. Yeah, that's what I thought too. The manager had to help new little lady Jesus come into her power because Jesus, couldn't do it all on his slash her own. Yeah. Yeah. Boy. Oh yeah. Yeah. Uh, that would be a good name, wouldn't that be? The word appears in the flesh. Oh, I thought that was a tattoo shop. Backs away. Heat is feeling spunky. That's good. I'll have to remember to tell. I'm gonna write that down. Oh, the word appears in the flesh. I'm gonna tell Sammy, or if any of you see him, you can too. Yeah. I always have a little paper over here or index card or something. Yeah, Cults for Dummies. That's the book I need to write, Mare. That's the book I need to write. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sounds like they stole a bunch of hooey from LRH. They all get the same thing. I'm serious. Goodness, I hope that lady can get the medications that she Me too, because I'm like, now if she's just some evil, and if she's evil, then fuck her kinda deal, but if she's not, I feel bad. What if she is seriously mentally ill? Because there's degrees. I mean, if she's like a little, has anxiety or something, which is horrible. But I mean, if it's like a little anxiety or something, then, you know, okay. But if she's like got deep mental illnesses, then I'm worried about her. Like I'm definitely worried about her. But and how would you find out? I mean, everybody's worried about where's Shelly, where's Yang? That's what I want to know. Every time somebody says where's Shelly, I'm gonna be like, Shelly, piss on Shelly, where's Yang? Yeah, it definitely sounds culty. Definitely. Yeah, right. Mischief having a little trouble believing that Jesus, the most perfect being to ever exist, would come back mentally ill as a him or as a her. Exactly. Exactly. I yeah. An awful convenient excuse. Yeah, freaking demons. You'd be surprised how many times demons came up when I was researching, but I thought, "Man, they're gonna get tired of it if I'm, like, going, well, this person left the church, so they had a demon, and this person, they had to lock this one up and keep it away from everybody because that one had a demon, and they had to" I mean, oh, and just everybody else. The government. all the other churches, you, me, everybody in the chat, everybody everywhere. Demons. Oh, yeah, thank you for kidnapping me. I believe now. Yeah, he right. He said he'd never heard of any of this. I had heard of the McDonald's murder, but that's as far as it went. That's as far as I ever got. Wow. Hold on just a second. Never heard of it, but my sister-in-law is from China. You'll have to ask her, Mary. You'll have to ask your sister-in-law. I bet she'll know. Yeah, if she comes out of hiding, she'll probably be arrested. I agree. I think so too. And I also I just wonder if it's him that is more the potential trouble source, right? Or what's that one girl's name that's on here? Is it a girl or a guy? I can't remember that definite trouble source. Yeah. So, yeah, it is just so sad and scary, Mary. I agree. Oh, yeah. The Quran is claimed to be the final by those guys. Yeah. Yeah. I used to have one. I have some friends that are Muslim, and I had a Quran, and it was really weird. You read it kind of backwards of how we do. Like, the pages you read not the actual words, but, like, from the right side to the left side, and so it was bizarre, but really it wasn't. It had a bunch of the same stories that the regular Bibles got in it and everything. Yeah, rewritten by men. How many times was it altered? Yeah, I know. I agree. She looks like she's being used as a cutout. Yeah, I get that too, David. I think so too. Oops. I hit the wrong deal. Well, is it all that outlandish? Really? We all know of one content creator that says God talks to her. And the thing is that if God did talk to her, that's great, but I don't think that God said, "I'm on your side," and Susie and Marilyn and Hef and everybody else are evil and they're wrong, and, I don't think God works quite that way. I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, Ben, thanks for that little reminder. So, anyway, I am that's what I've got for today. I'm trying to keep it back down to right around an hour because Mischief gets cranky. She's okay, but like the other day when I did 2 hours, went 12 minutes in between, and then did another almost 2 hours, she was a little cranky that day. She was like, "We can't do that." I'm like, "Mm-mm. We can't do that." So, anyway, guys, I am gonna go. Thank you so much for being here. If I missed anybody coming in, I am sorry. I try to keep an eye on it and see if I see new names popping in, but I always tend to miss some. So it is always glad to see you guys. Tomorrow we're gonna be back. John's gonna be with me, and we are gonna talk about eating disorders and how those affect men versus women. Because just like how we talked about with either how men handle divorce or the loss of a spouse, how men handle that different than women do. I mean, we all grieve that kind of thing. But men do tend to deal with it different than women do. And it's the same thing with eating disorders. A lot of that is different and it's much more as if it's not already very taboo, this whole eating disorder thing. It's even worse for men. So we're gonna be, it's still June. We're still in Men's Mental Health Month, so we're gonna be talking about that. So, and I'm gonna go try to get Amy's wrench for her. I do not know what in the world is going on. So I'm gonna go do that. You all have a great rest of your day, and we'll meet back here tomorrow at 6:30. No, I don't know. It is at 6:30. Yeah, it is at 6:30. So I'll see you guys then. Bye.
Hope you enjoyed the show, so glad you were here. We meet here most days, we're but first coffee and you're welcome here. We talk about hard subjects, but we also laugh a lot. If you have a loss or win, we will cheer for you. We're but first coffee and you are safe here. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all. You don't wanna miss a show, because this is your home to y'all. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all. You don't wanna miss a show, because this is your home to y'all. So hit those like and subscribe buttons.